Good morning. I'm Caryn Terradas with Social U. It is time for What's Up Wednesday, where we come live. We come to you live every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Central on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Soon to be adding Instagram to our streaming live. Just not quite yet, but soon. This week, we are talking about crisis management because, wow, there has been a lot of social media crisis lately where people are not only getting their business in trouble, they are getting their selves in trouble, like felony trouble. So it is possible to make a mistake online that will haunt you for the rest of your life. It does happen. So today we're going to talk about crisis management. Next week, we will start into our holiday rotation so we can get everybody ready for the upcoming holidays. I hate to break it to you, but there's only 98 days left till Christmas. That little piece of information freaked me out for sure. So let's get everybody ready for Christmas. All right, let's jump in. Okay, first things first. Today we're going to talk about crisis management and online reputation. So what is your online reputation? What does that mean? I mean, when I say online reputation, it's the impression that you create online. That's all it is. It can be shaped by not only what you do and the content that you share. It can definitely be affected by social media, which is any activity on social media platforms, reviews that other people leave about your business online, content that you post. I have seen some extremely questionable political content on business brands lately that's just a terrible idea. And search engine results. What happens when people look you up? So if you make a mistake and people associate that mistake with your brand, it will come up. You will come up when people Google that terminology. So be very aware of what you're putting out there online because it does not go away. So that is your online reputation. Now let's talk about how to manage your online reputation. I'm a firm believer that knowledge is power. So the first thing you have to do is research. You need to find out what people are saying. You need to understand your current reputation and have for your online strategy to be effective, for you to create an online strategy. So one of the first things you're going to do is go do some research. There are tools where listening tools where you can go in and monitor what people are saying about you. It is very simple. It's one or the other. You can invest your time to check it out, or you can invest money in a tool to monitor. Google Alerts can be super effective, but it can also be overwhelming. If your keywords are common, you're going to get inundated with Google Alerts. So I would say start very simply, search in a search bar that's hidden so that your results are not skewed to your personal preferences. And I'm also going to tell you to go look on each of the different social media platforms. Set goals. They really have to be manageable for you to maintain. For us, we try to pay attention anytime we're tagged, anytime we're mentioned, because again, that's part of our reputation. You want to choose your tactics. So you have to decide kind of how you're going to do that monitoring, how you're going to review your reputation so that you can stay on top of it. And you definitely want to use SEO, that is search engine optimization strategies, so that you can stay on top of it and provide accurate results. And so the information you want to look so that you know the information in the search engine is also accurate, because sometimes it's not, and you will sometimes be surprised at what comes up when your name is mentioned. I am frequently surprised, and because I have such a unique name, there's no hiding from it. So it better be good because it's out there. Okay, so understanding that everything you do online builds to your reputation. And now that I've been in business for a few years, we do almost all of our work by word of mouth or referral because we've been doing it a while. So my reputation is everything to me. I want people to be happy. I want them to have a positive experience. I want them to enjoy working with us as much as we enjoy working with them. And I'll be the first person to tell you, if I don't think we're a good fit for your company, I'm going to tell you, because I want you to get out what we put in, and that if it's not a good match, it won't work. So yeah, we want to make sure we're on the same page. So once that's done and you understand that your reputation kind of hangs in the balance, and you're monitoring it so you can see what people are talking about online. Now you want to have a crisis plan. A crisis plan is a predetermined strategy that outlines how an organization will respond to a critical situation or emergency. It serves like it's like a roadmap to help you effectively manage and mitigate the impact of a crisis and protect your reputation and protect your client's reputation. Just a quick example would be COVID. A lot of businesses, it had never happened before, and a lot of businesses who did not have a crisis plan were not prepared to deal with the fallout from COVID. People were angry about businesses being shut down. They didn't know what was going on. A lot of retailers didn't really know which step to take. So our company jumped into action for our client base and created a crisis plan to avoid litigation, because again, COVID being what it was, and you guys know, we didn't want anybody to be sick. We didn't want to encourage spread of contamination. So we had to be super careful with how we worded any information for any client. So that's what I mean by you need a plan. And some of it's really simple. A crisis plan might be what you're going to do in case of a tornado warning, or it might be what you're going to do in case it snows. And in case you guys don't know, I'm in Alabama. So when they say the word snow, everything shuts down here. People flip out because we're not equipped to deal with it. We don't have anything to clear the street. We don't have a ton of trucks that can salt the roads. So when it snows, it's a big deal. I mean, it's a big enough deal that when it snows, they can't land planes at the airport. They have to reroute to a different city. So bear that in mind when you're laughing at the Southerners who can't deal with snow. It's a mess. Okay. So what does a crisis plan include? A crisis plan includes, first and foremost, crisis identification. You have to define what you consider to be a potential crisis that could impact you. It can be natural disaster. It can be a bad review. It can be a crazy review. It might not be true at all. What are you going to do then? So you need to have those steps in place. You also need to have communication protocols. This is establishing a clear communication channel and procedure for your team. So normally for our internal, we have an internal Slack channel. When there is an emergency, that's how we communicate internally, not email, not text, Slack, because my entire team monitors that, and it's easy to send information back and forth. The next thing you want to do is have roles and responsibilities. Who jumps into action? Who responds? Who's monitoring your social media pages? Who responds to DMs? Assigning specific roles and responsibilities to a team member avoids overlap and it avoids confusion. You don't want one team member saying, okay, if there's a tornado watch, we're going to stay open till noon, and another team member saying, we're going to stay open all day. You need to be on the same page, one person doing the communication. The next thing you want to do, and this is if you have a large enough organization, you're going to need a crisis management team. We specialize in small business and nonprofits. So I would tell you, you just need one, maybe two people who know what needs to happen. And I like having two people, because what if your one crisis person is out on maternity leave? What if your one crisis person has their own personal crisis and can't respond? Two people, a primary and a secondary, so that they can jump into action if anything happens or you need assistance. Okay, incident response procedure. What does that mean? It is outlining steps to be taken during a crisis like containment, investigation. So your steps for, let's say you get a terribly negative review. The first step is going to be to validate the consumer and validate the opinion. I'm going to go check and see if the person that is saying it is real. It could be a hacker, a spammer, it could be made up. First, I'm going to make sure that the person is a real person. And then the next thing we're going to do is check and see if the claim is real. I want to know if what's being said is true or not. So it may mean I need to talk to my team. It might mean I need to do some further investigation, but that's part of our management strategy, is to validate first, because you don't want to argue with something that's crazy. That doesn't go well ever. Okay. And then you want to have a public relations strategy. You need to develop a plan for communicating not only with the public, but also the media in case. Now, larger organizations 100% need to have a PR team in place. If you do not have a PR team in place, we work with Terradas PR a lot. We love them. Highly recommend them if you are looking for that team. If you're a small solopreneur, You're going to have your own communication plan, and it could be very simple. It can be posting on social media. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to issue a statement to the press if it's, if you're a solopreneur. You just need to have a plan in place. You also want to have crisis communication materials. What does that mean? It means we have templates ready to go. Part of being a member of Social University, we have a folder that is nothing but crisis templates. It's tornado, snow, flash flood, hurricane, any kind of natural crisis that can happen. We're having a power outage, our phone system is down, anything that might happen to a business, we keep templates so that if you are in crisis, you don't have to take 30 minutes to go make a graphic or create a story for Instagram. It's there, it's created for you. You can pull from that folder directly. Again, that's in our Social University folder. So if that is, if that's interesting to you, let me know. If you'll comment, and if you comment on this post, if you'll put in the comments templates, I will see if we can go ahead and get you access to our folder for our disaster folder for templates. So yeah, just let us know if that's something that interests you. You also want to have, you want to test it. You want to see if there's an emergency. It's like a fire drill. You want to test it and see how long it takes you to spring into action, what your end results are, and what you need to tweak to make it work. So again, just like a fire drill, you want to make sure that it's working. A well-crafted crisis plan can really help you minimize any kind of damage. It helps maintain your online reputation as well as recover from the actual crisis more effectively. It is essential to review and update periodically. I would say annually, you want to check and make sure that it still works for you, because a lot of small businesses are having growth, and what works for you today may not work for you next year. So you want to check it periodically. That is it for us today. Next week, again, Christmas is here. Holidays are here. So if you haven't started planning for that, it is time. Next week, we're going to start talking about holiday deck the halls, curating a holiday strategy. So we're going to talk about what you need to be doing to get ready, not only for Christmas, but Thanksgiving, Halloween. And don't forget, there's other smaller holidays. There's Black Friday, there's Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up. We want to make sure you're prepared for it. So join us next week as we dive into holiday strategies and timelines and kind of where you need to be. Retailers, if you are not ready for the holidays, it's time. It's time to start creating that email rotation right now. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I am Caryn Terradas, and until next week, I'm here to help. Thanks.